Do you ever feel like life is hopeless and you come to the end of your rope and you're just like totally stressed? I've been there, I've done that. And today I want to share with you something that happened to me that actually got me out of that initially when I first experienced those feelings. Hi there, my name is Kevin. And a long time ago, back in the early 90s, I had an experience that completely transformed my life and set me on a completely new path and direction. And that was going through a Tony Robbins Unlimited Power weekend. I can say for a fact that Tony Robbins basically saved my life at that point. As I was growing up, I was bullied a lot as a kid. And because of that, my self-esteem was shot. I didn't really feel that confident. And as I was going through life, I never knew what I really wanted to do. I was stressed, and then I got into a relationship, and my relationship wasn't going well. And with everything that has happened in my life at that point in time, I used to live in a small city, and I went up north, the middle of nowhere, and I was contemplating actually suicide at the time. I remember, I was listening to Tony Robbins, personal power tapes and stuff like that. I knew that back then in that day, there was franchisees that did video-based seminars of Tony's Unlimited Power Weekend. Called up the guy who ran the thing. His name was Miles. And I was so stressed at the end of my rope, I just said, this was like a Wednesday night when I did it. And I just said, when's your next UPW weekend coming up? And he says, I got one this Friday. I packed up everything that night. It was like 10 o'clock at night. And I drove 8 hours through the night back to the city I used to live in. I met with him the next day, and he's trying to give me the sales spiel, and I just said, shut up and take my money. And I showed up that weekend, and what I learned through that seminar about my life and how things were going, the beliefs that I had, because I became stuck that, there's something wrong with me. That's why I was getting teased. That's why, I got bullied in school. And through that, I never felt worthy enough. I never felt good enough. And that weekend, I learned a bunch of skills. I managed to work on myself, my beliefs, my values. I was able to transform my life that weekend. It was an amazing experience. Like, I came out of that weekend, and when I went back to see my parents, my mom looked at me and basically went, what happened to you? Like, you've changed. You're not the same person that I, saw a few weeks ago. And I told her about my experience. And she's like, that's what, if it's working, like, all the power to you. Keep doing that. And after that weekend with Tony Robbins, I ended up finding out that he had a certification course that to learn exactly what Tony did and his techniques, what he called neurosociative conditioning, NAC for short. That was coming up in a few months. That was being held in Hawaii. And it was the very last event of that kind that he was going to do. And I decided that I'm going to go. And I made that decision. And what I learned through the Unlimited Power Weekend is, making a decision, and then, back then it's like, get out there and do whatever it takes to make things happen. I did. I went to banks, I got a loan, and one of the banks I went to, I got rejected a few times. I went to one of the banks the town I grew up in, and I talked to one of the lenders there who knew me. I said, this is what I want to do. And she says, okay, we can do this, but you need to get a co-signer. I managed to get a co-signer for that. And I went to Hawaii. And back then it was like, you had to pay for the flights, you had to pay for the hotel and the seminar. And I probably spent, for that 10 days we were out there, probably a good 10 grand. But that weekend exposed me to seeing Tony live and being in that environment. When I came back from that, the fun part is there was a bunch of us from the city I lived in that had gone to this event. So we all got together afterwards and kept working with each other and helping each other to stay in the state and keep things going. Because it's like going to the gym. If you go once, you're not going to see any results. The more you keep doing stuff, the better you get at it, the more it's ingrained in your system, and the stronger you become. And the same thing is with, doing growth work. Every one of us has had experiences in life that have kicked us to the curb. We've felt beat up, broken, unworthy. Not doing just like a rah-rah session where, I feel great, let's just keep this going. There's techniques, there's patterns that you can instill in your system, but you got to keep doing that. When I came back from the certification course, I was even more empowered. I was even more enthusiastic about life. It got to the point where nothing really bothered me. If there was, problems that came up, what I call challenges, I found a way, around them, through them, made them work. I did whatever was necessary, but I didn't let that knock me down like I did in the past. If, something stressful would happen, I'd get all upset and I'd be beating up myself. I'd be kicking my own butt. I learned to change the beliefs and the way I saw the world from learning what Tony did, doing the certification stuff. I was able to help others do it, and that was an amazing feeling. Having those changes in your life, having that support and having somebody, be there to help you grow is an amazing experience. And I thank Tony Robbins, from the bottom of my heart. Like I literally say, he saved my life and he put my life in a totally new trajectory. Now, I've had my ups and downs, and I can probably share that in other videos and that. It hasn't been always a smooth ride. I've done stupid things and I've messed things up. But I always come back to the core, the root of building myself up back to where I need to be. Because life is going to beat us down. We're going to have challenges, and it's all the way that you look at it. So I just wanted to share that with you. I hope this video helped you. If you got anything from it, please leave a comment down below. If you've gone to Tony Robbins Unlimited Power Weekend, or you've done any of those work to help increase the quality of your life. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to have a conversation. So please leave a comment below, and like and subscribe. I've got tons of stuff I can share with you, and you have yourself a great day. Remember, I believe in you. I know you got this, and you owe something to the world. The world is looking for your gift. So feel free to express yourself and get it out there. Have a great day, and thank you.